Yasodanandana Rajajanarandana Yasodanandana Rajajanarandana Yashodanandana Rajajanarandana Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivraj Kacharya Ashtotar Satishri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kota Vaishnavinda Ki Nama Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Gidi Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavana Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Tulasi Deva Ki Bhakti Deva Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Lord Chaitanya's Harinama Sankirtanam Ki Rihat Madanga Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Bihari Ki Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesha Sanyavadi Paschacha Deshatarni Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Om Jnanatimrandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for coming and thank you for giving myself this chance to remember the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Can you all hear and understand English? There's no need of a translation of any kind. Ladies, you can all understand English? They may not understand, they don't understand the question. Can they understand English? I don't know. Can you hear at the back? Yes? Okay. So today we're reading from the seventh canto Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, chapter 13, text 33. Kindly repeat. Rajatash Chorataha Shatroho Svajanat Pashu Pakshitaha Atibhyaha Kalataha Svasman Nityang Panatavad Bhayam Rajatas Choratak Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam Rajatas Choratak Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam Rajatas Choratak Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam Rajatas Choratak Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam Rajatas Choratak Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam
Rajatas Charata Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshita Artibhya Kalatash Sasman Nityam Pranarthavad Bhayam Rajatas
Shatro Svajanat Pashupakshitaha Atibhya Kalatak Svasman Nityang Pranatavad Bhayam. Vaishnavis, Matajis, Rajataha, from the government, Chorataha, from thieves and rogues, Shatroho, from enemies, Svajanat, from relatives, Pashu Pakshitaha, from animals and birds, Artebhyaha, from beggars and persons seeking charity. Kalataha, from the time factor. Svasmat, as well as from one's own self. Nityam, always. Prana artavat, for one who has life or money. Bhayam, fear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Those who are considered materially powerful and rich are always full of anxieties because of governmental laws, thieves and rogues, enemies, family members, animals, birds, persons seeking charity, the inevitable time factor, and even their own selves. Thus they are invariably afraid. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word svasmat means from oneself. Because of attachment for money, the richest person is even afraid of himself. He fears that he may have locked his money in an unsafe manner or might have committed some mistake. That's all you brahmacharis, you don't know anything about this. You have no money. You have nothing to worry about. Right? But grihasthas may sometimes experience this, even though we may not have very much. But, you go out, oh my God, where's my wallet? The money, did I lock it up safely? Fear comes over you sometimes. What to speak if you can't find it at all? Panic. Huh? Looking everywhere for your money, for your mobile, for this, for that. We can't even trust our own selves sometimes. Easily forget, make mistakes. Aside from the government and its income tax, and aside from thieves, even a rich man's own relatives are always thinking of how to take advantage of him and take away his money. It's one of the blessings of being rich. As soon as you become rich, you suddenly have a lot of friends. Suddenly, oh, you remember me? You know, we used to go to school together. You become an object of, you could say, their greed or their lust or whatever it is. Sometimes these relatives are described as Svajanakadashu, which means rogues and thieves in the guise of relatives. You see, sometimes they even kill family members. It's quite common, isn't it? They kill their family members over not just money. Here we're seeing about money, but it could be anything. It could be some lusty thing or some fame. It could be anything. But especially over money, wealth, land. People will kill each other. Countries kill each other. People kill each other. Brothers, even at royalty stage, sometimes this happens. Such is the drive for money or wealth. The real business of life is to ask, who am I? And to understand oneself. One should understand the position of the living entity in this material world and understand how to return home, back to Godhead. End of purport. So yesterday, I think, we were hearing a little bit about the proper usage of money. And today we're hearing about the fear, the anxiety And it's not just money, it can be any kind of opulence, fame, position, strength. We lose them all if we identify with these as being ours. So today, for various reasons last night, I prepared something relating to one particular aspect of this verse. Basically, this verse and purport, you could say, covers, you could say, just about anything in our Krishna consciousness movement. Who am I? Pursuit or questions relating to going back to Godhead. The dangers of becoming entangled in this material world. You don't really have any friends in this world. So many different aspects are there. But I guess I take one word in this verse today, bhayam, fear. An underlying characteristic of nature of this material world, isn't it? Fear comes from Krishna. He describes that. One of the characteristics or qualities that come from him is fear. There's fear in the spiritual world. The difference in the fear in the spiritual world, of course, is that it brings people, or on the spiritual path, closer to Krishna. Closer to Krishna. Whenever a demon appears in Gokul Vrindavan, what happens? Maybe there's some fear there. Even snakes, it said. They awaken fear, and immediately one turns to Krishna. We're not going to get into that aspect today. We're going to look at the aspect of the situation we are in. Fear, its causes, and how to relate to fear and how it can be valuable in our own Krishna consciousness. Is favorable, unfavorable fear, depending on the, you could say, the attitude, the motive, the understanding which we have. For most people, fear is a permanent companion. It's always lurking, isn't it? You go through the day, there's no end of causes of fear. Parents for their children, children going to school. I don't know about you, but sometimes you fear a teacher or a subject or an exam. I remember one of my main fears when I was a kid was the dentist. These are all like circumstantial fears. They're not, deep. But the fear itself is deep, but no end. Animals, ladies, when you see a cockroach, you scream. Ladies sometimes scream when they see a cockroach. Or to speak of a snake. You may also be scared when you see a big snake. You're in an aeroplane, the aeroplane suddenly doesn't fly anymore. You're in the sky, I'm sure. You don't hear many people to tell their story. But I'm sure they're experiencing a lot of fear at that moment of time. These are all kind of, in-between fears. Fears, now we have wars all over the place. Afraid, fear coming, the bomb may come. Whatever, isn't it? You fear for your health. What other things do you fear? Circumstantially, I don't mean on the big scale. Huh? Losing your money, that's what today's verse is all about, isn't it? That's a big one, isn't it? Losing your money, that's like, ooh. Whether direct or whether stock exchange collapses, people jump out the top of a skyscraper sometimes. They lose their job, they lose everything, they lose their fame, their name, everything. No point living. What else do you fear? I used to fear going underwater. It's a long story. I couldn't understand why till I was 20 years old. But I couldn't tolerate it. I'd panic if I went underwater. All kinds of things. The list goes on and on. So let's look at it. There's a very similar word, similar verse in the 5th canto. Chapter 26, text 35, if you want to follow it. One who in this world or this life is very proud of wealth always thinks. You get a similar verse in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? I am so rich, who can equal me? His vision is twisted, and he is always afraid that someone will take his wealth. Indeed, he even suspects his superiors. His face and heart dry up at the thought of losing his wealth, and therefore he always looks like a wretched fiend. He's not in any way able to obtain actual happiness, and he does not know what it is to be free from anxiety. Because of the sinful things he does to earn money, augment his wealth, and protect it, he is put into the hell called Suchimukha. One of the many hells, 28 or 30 hells, different types of punishments are there. There, the officials of Yamaraj punish him. You could say, in one sense, a miser, but generally a person who just completely identifies with this money. At all costs he'll get money, tries to protect it. And so many people in this category, fighting against the government, their relatives, the Hare Krishnas when they come to get donations. I have no money, the boss is not here, whatever they say. So many miserly. The servants of Yamaraj punish him, and this is how they punish him. By stitching thread to his entire body like weavers manufacturing cloth. This word such, in this particular case, Suchimukha, refers to a needle, like a needle. There's another story. Now, I don't know, I can't remember where it comes from. And I can't remember it absolutely correct, but it's a story about a weaver. And it's related to money. Thinking that money will make me happy. Most people think that, if I have enough money, I'll be happy, right? Is it the case? Not necessarily. There's a suburb, I don't know where exactly it is, but there's a suburb somewhere in America, but it's about the richest suburb in America. And crime, of course a lot of people go there to steal. Even drug abuse, suicide, higher than average. Rich countries of the world, people that are not short of a penny or two, have on average much higher drug abuse and other kinds of abuse too. Suicide, higher than normal. Their level of so-called happiness is not very high. Poor people are often much happier. Maybe one of the reasons is they don't have so much to worry about in one sense. They don't have so much to lose. Sometimes we say, I've got nothing to lose, so don't need to worry. Nothing to lose. Rich people think they've got something to lose. So anyway, this weaver, tailor, he was poor. And this sometimes happens by, our karma, our fate being what it is. You may be a very good musician. You may be a very good artist, but you don't make the grade. Somebody else gets it. So he thought he was a really good tailor, but he was just about surviving. No one was buying his cloth much. All around him, the other tailors were doing pretty good. So he was thinking that don't be afraid, it's only pigeons. Another verse said, fear of birds, but they mate on your head sometimes. So this man's name is Somalika. And he thought, this town I'm in, people have no good taste here. It's a common thing, isn't it? Nobody appreciates me. There's another thing which we may be afraid of, not being appreciated. So he thought, nobody here appreciates me. I'm going to go somewhere else. So he went to another town, thinking, I'll try my luck there. And sure enough, he stayed there a year. His wife told him, no, we're okay, stay here. We've got what we need, we've got some food, we've got a house, children. It's going on. It's not the real purpose of life, just to make money. She was a little more advanced, but he was a little bit materialistic. Yudhanajasana. He was very attached to this material world. And he thought that the goal of life is to make money and be happy. That was his idea. It comes up again and again, his theme. So he went to this other town, and sure in a year he made a fortune. He proved he was right. People bought his cloth like anything and paid a good price. He became very rich. Now I'm going to go back and show my wealth. Prove to the people I was right. So he went back, and he had maybe a bullock cart or something, but he had a big trunk there, chest with all of his wealth inside it, and he was watching it carefully. He had some assistants there. But on the way back, it was quite a journey, so he took a little rest on the way back. And he fell asleep. And there's another thing you may be afraid of, nightmares. He had a bit of a nightmare. Suddenly 2 horrendous people appeared in front of him in his dream. And one of them said to the other, Karma, why did you give Somalika so much wealth? Karma said, well, he worked so hard, he deserved it. But now it's up to you what happens, Destiny. Boom! And he suddenly woke up. What was that all about? Couldn't work what was going on here. It was kind of a bit scary. He immediately went to the treasure trove, opened the box. Not 1 rupee in the box. Completely empty. You can imagine how he felt. 1 year had gone by, finished. What am I going to do now? I can't go back to my hometown. I'll be a laughing stock. Not even 1 rupee. I think, I know. I'll go back to where I came from, that town, and do it again. But I'll be more careful next time when I go back. So he went back again. In 6 months he did the same thing, even better than before. And he set off on his journey again. And no, I'm not going to go to sleep this time. I'm going to be fully attentive. Somehow or another, by destiny's arrangement, he had a little bit tired. I'll just sit down for 1 moment. just get my breath back. Boom. There they were again. You know, you have a dream sometimes in a split second. It can be like a whole lifetime almost. Time takes a different dimension. He fell asleep again, just for a moment. That's not the pigeons, is it? What is it?
Construction.
Huh?
Construction.
Construction. Okay. Good. I'll say you've got pretty big pigeons around here. I'll start getting scared if that's the pigeons up there. Maybe like massive birds. Come down and take everything away. Sorry. And the same thing happened exactly again. He immediately woke up. Oh no! Oh no! He opened the box. Oh no! It's all gone! What's happening? I can't handle this any longer. He saw there was a nice piece of rope nearby. He took the rope, tied it around a branch of the tree, climbed up on the branch, made a noose. You know, noose? Put the noose around his head and was just about to jump off the high branch with a hope that he'll die. He couldn't go either way. He was stuck. This is a fate worse than death. Suddenly, destiny suddenly appeared literally before him. Oh my God. He said, I can't even commit suicide. That guy's here again. Leave me alone. Destiny said, Somalika, stop. Stop. What do you mean, stop? And Destiny said, what do you want, Somalika? You know what I want. Why are you asking me that question? I want money. Why, Somalika? Then I'll be happy, I'll be happy. Really? Of course I will. All right, Somalika. I'll give you money if you want. Really? Yes. Oh, thank you. You just go back to the town you came from and you stay with a very rich man. I'll arrange everything. And then you stay with a very poor man. One night. He stayed with a rich man. He had a horrible experience. The man was so miserable. So miserable. Sickly, miserable, nasty, angry. It wasn't so pleasant. Then he went to the poor man's house, who greeted him as if he was God, treated him like God. And he was so happy there, so simple, but so happy. And he realized that it's not money that makes us happy, or beauty, or strength, or renunciation, or fame, or knowledge. Anyway, it's a mundane example, but he went back home, lived happily evermore, so they say. But this is based upon our philosophy of understanding. It's not just a matter of accepting our lot. Many people in this world may accept their lot and live with it, whatever it may be. Tolerate or just try to be happy with it, living in society, but it doesn't last. We may not be accumulating like we've read in today's purport, heard in today's verse and purport, how by nefarious means sometimes people accumulate wealth illegally, or they try to cheat the government, cheat others and so on. Even they don't do that. Still, nonetheless, everyone in this world is entangled in karma, which means we have to suffer. There's a very famous verse in Ishopanishad, which is foundational verse for all of our Krishna consciousness, for this mission. Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kimcha judakjam judata. That everything animate and inanimate, everything that exists in this universe is controlled and owned by the personality of Godhead. One should therefore accept only those things set aside as our quota. It's a very interesting topic. We don't have to get into that today, we don't have time. What is our quota? It's not just about money, it's about our very nature itself. What we've received according to our lifetimes in this world, and learning how to use that properly in the light of that everything, including that, belongs to the personality of Godhead. How to use it properly for the higher purpose. One should not accept things, other things, knowing well to whom they belong. This is greed. When we want to, and it's based on a fact, a remote fact maybe, which manifests day to day, but its remote fact is envy. We're envious of God. We're envious of Krishna. And we know the outcome, the scenario of how we come into this illusory state of consciousness, forgetting our true identity. And of course today's verse talks about that also. How we should make this inquiry. Kayami, who am I? Sanatana Goswami made this inquiry, right? When Lord Chaitanya met him there in Varanasi, he made this inquiry, who am I? Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, they both made this inquiry, who am I? I may be called a learned scholar, I may be very rich, famous, but who? I don't even know who I am. What's the use of it all? So to make this inquiry, if we don't know who we are, normally people call us, if you go along the street and someone says, who are you? You say, I don't know. People think you're a little crazy probably. Huh? Of course, what you answer is also crazy. Say, I'm Indian, I'm Mr. Patel, whatever it is, I don't know what your names are. That's also crazy, because you're not that either. But that's how the material world is, you know, in this crazy state of consciousness. So, to usurp other people's property, sometimes they call that crime. When Prabhupada was talking with Lieutenant Mosey, I think in Chicago, he was police lieutenant. Prabhupada said, he asked him, well, what do you call crime? He said, it means that. It means to basically usurp other people's property in various ways. It is a crime. But we're all doing that. If we understand this verse, everything belongs to Krishna. Even this body belongs to Krishna. Even our yawn, and Krishna yawns too. Everything comes from Krishna. It belongs to him. If we live our life in this mentality, or this understanding, at least that's the process of devotional service, to try to understand how to use our mind, body, everything in the service of Krishna. And to do that for his pleasure. Devotional service. At least in its practical stage. But people don't know this. They think it belongs to them. This is my country, this is my wealth, this is my family. We have our duties, your conditional duties, but that's not the real position, that's not the real purpose behind it all. Purpose of all, jivasya tattva jignas, karmasya nendriyapati labo jivetya yavati. Jivasya tattva jignasa natuyasya karmavi. Life's desires should not be directed towards this. Sense gratification is Maya's, of course, covering potency to make us think we're this body, and then, furthermore, to think that this belongs to me. Both are illusory. We have to make inquiry to find out what the real truth is. To inquire into the nature of the absolute truth is the purpose of human life. It's not to accumulate material wealth. We heard yesterday, if it happens to come, what to do with it, that's fine. And if we don't use it properly, then we become entangled in the material world. Prabhupada writes in the 7th Canto in purple, one may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. This is, you could say, from the materialistic point of view, accept what one's God-given quota is. But we also understand that's not ours. It belongs to Krishna. Bhaktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Everything belongs to Krishna. All this Ham Sarvasya Prabhu Matak Sarvam Prabhu. Everything comes from Krishna. Everything belongs to him. Everything should be used in service. If something belongs to somebody, you don't just go along, do what you like with it. You can do that. What will you be called? Say, for instance, there's a car out there, and we almost did that the other day. We were stuck waiting and waiting and waiting for the golf car. Is that what you call it? The golf car. And there's a golf car sat there, but no driver, and it had the keys in it. And I said to the driver, "Can you drive?" But that would be against. I probably wouldn't get arrested for that. But in one sense, it's against the law, isn't it? At least outside of Govardhan Eco Village, it would be against the law. Maybe here too. You know, if somebody, some or another, or you've got a key that you just jump in any car you see there, it's just sitting there, okay? Animal. Jumps in, starts up the engine, off you go. Hey, the owner comes back, where's my car? Police, someone stolen my car. Number, along the highway, police all around. Come on, out, you're under arrest. Why? You just stole this car, mate. Right? You get arrested. You get punished. Material nature does that to everyone. Unless we know how things should be utilized according to the Vedas, according to the direction of the society, which should be based upon Vedic principles, but it's not. But it should be. And if you follow that, you still have to take birth, you could say, but you won't be punished in the same way. You have to pay tax, but you won't be like thrown in jail. People don't know this. They think it's theirs. Huh? And they fight and kill each other over this. Lie. You know, it's all based on envy of Krishna, ultimately. Envy of each other also. And people lie over it. Just to protect their money, they resort to all kinds of crazy things. We've heard about killing people, lying, stealing also, corruption, gambling, so many things as a result of problems. But one who desires proprietorship over more than what is required, that must be considered, then he's considered a thief. And he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. So that kind of occurs, anyone who's a little greedy, and pretty much everyone is, to some degree. So pretty much everyone in this world is basically a thief. As we see, the Bhagavad Gita, if you don't perform sacrifices even to the demigods, you're considered a thief. In the 3rd chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks a lot about this in Karma Yoga. The importance of performing sacrifice, understanding well to whom everything belongs. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. We see in the Govardhan Lila, we were looking on here at the Govardhan Lila. Who Indra is expecting is yajna. He didn't get it, he got angry. So even there, when the government gets angry if you don't pay a tax, like a tax, people have to pay it. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. If you don't pay your electric bill, you'll be considered to be breaking the law. You're a criminal. A thief. You know, we see thieves in one sense. You know, there's people who there's a big joy out of everything, you could say, to some degree, but there's also a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear involved. And any moment you can get caught. You never know what's going to happen next. And basically the whole world is in that situation. We never know at any moment, you know. And we're not going to get very far here in terms of the totality of this. I'll just run through. I want to tell a very interesting analogy of some kind. We'll jump forward a little bit here. So we could say, well, many details within our lives. But what's the overall cause of fear? Let's give some more generalizations of fear. Why are people in general afraid? Death is a big one, isn't it? Although death in itself is inevitable, it's kind of is also circumstantial in one sense, although it's inevitable in this material world. It's definitely one of the biggest ones. We'll get on to that in a minute. Insecurity. Why? Now, insecurity on a day-to-day level is definitely there. Maybe now you feel insecure if you're living in the Middle East, for instance, or somewhere like that, isn't it? Or maybe you feel insecure here. You never know where you are. Anything can happen. Insecurity is always lurking there. But why? Should we be insecure?
Fear of change.
Huh?
Situations are changing, therefore one becomes fearful. Okay,
insecurity or unsurety. You don't know what's going to happen around you. That's true. But why? That's still on the surface. Why?
Considering self which is not.
Pardon?
Considering the self which is not.
Yeah, you can go back further, as the verse says. We think with this body, basically, that's what's going on here, these verses. And not knowing who we are. Now, that's a very deep subject, and it covers more than just knowledge. It covers everything that stems from that, including how we behave with each other, including how we relate to the material world around us, including our drive, our ambitions in life, and so on. So everything's related to that principle of identity. We have an identity crisis. If you don't know who you are, it's a little bit scary. A little bit scary. Fear. And beyond that also is because, why are we insecure? Even if you know who you are, one of my biggest fears, and it still comes up sometimes, I must admit, in dreams, is this fear of being eternally existing in a kind of a suspended state with nothing. It's just existing in a suspended state of existence with no idea of time, beginning, middle, or end. It's like an eternal existence, and I feel very insecure in that situation, my own lack of Krishna consciousness, no doubt. But it's warning, maybe it's something like the Brahmajyoti or something, but without the Ananda of the Brahmajyoti, this existence factor. And it's scary forevermore. You may not know what it's like. I had that occasionally. It's scary. It went back to when I was a kid. So it's not enough, even if you do just know you're not the body. There's another factor involved behind it, isn't there? We'll get to that in a minute. So what's another general cause of fear behind it all? Big one. They're all related.
Absorption in secondary.
Huh?
Absorption in something that is not Krishna.
That's kind of like related to the secondary factors, though. The objects of this world, and it could make that a general one, but it's already covered in one sense. It's false identity, this is mine, or this is for my enjoyment. That results in ultimately in fear, but it's not so much a causal thing. Ignorance, huh? Ignorance. Isn't it? Ignorance is always a problem. You ever get sick, you don't know what's going on. And even if you do have a diagnosis, it's a bit of a relief. It's not necessarily a solution. At least you know what's the problem. You may be a deal with it. But the fear of not knowing is worse than the fear of knowing something bad. Ignorance. I could give 101 examples, but we haven't got time. You have to think about it. How ignorance pervades everything in this world, and Maya puts us into this state of ignorance. It automatically means fear will be there. The root cause, which we've already discussed, but I'll just read this verse. Famous verse, which Prabhupada refers to quite often, the root cause of fear. let's say, the root problem, which cause fear and so on. 11th canto, the second, and anxiety also. Various anomalies, which really have nothing to do with us. You know this verse, 11.2.37? I won't read the Sanskrit time. Fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When a living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency of illusion, called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and as his very life and soul. That's a pretty full verse. It also covers the solution to a large degree, as well as the problem itself. That's 11.2.37 if you want to look deeper into it. The purport is there, goes in deeper. It pretty much summarizes a lot that's been said and takes us somewhat towards the next point. But again, on that point which I mentioned just now about that fear of sort of, and it's like a suspended state, we're not knowing anything, what's going to happen, what's happening, with no associate, nothing, just being alone forevermore. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the objection may be raised that since fear is caused by ignorance, it can be dispelled by knowledge. And there is no need to worship the Supreme Lord. You only need knowledge. Krishna says, doubts arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed with a weapon of knowledge. Knowledge removes. Knowledge is like light. Ignorance is like darkness compared to the sun. So you have knowledge, there's no more darkness. That's enough, right? Many people think like that. You don't think there's a need to worship a god. Then Sridhar Swami goes on, the living entity falsely identifies with this material body, family, society, and so on, and he simply has to give up this false identification. That's enough. He'll be all right. Right? No more fear. Huh? Then what will Maya be able to do to me? Nothing. But however, in reply to this argument, Sridhar Swami has quoted the following verse, a simple one from the Bhagavad Gita, and you mostly all know this one. 7:14. He quotes this verse. You mostly know it. Perhaps you all know it. Divine energy of mind, huh? Consisting of three modes of material nature, is very hard to overcome. It's not just about knowledge, strength, austerity, study. Krishna says again and again, this is not the solution. It may be helpful, but it's not the solution. It can only take us so far. Even knowledge can only take maximum to the Brahmajyoti. Those who surrender unto me can easily cross beyond it. This is the secret. The process of trying to get out of this condition on one's own is next to impossible. Next to impossible. In fact, it is impossible. Only if the Lord's mercy descends somehow or another and delivers us even to the Brahman, to speak of the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, the land of no anxiety. This word is Kuntalok. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti said, only the Bhakta actually becomes free from fear. Because everyone else has an aspiration. An aspiration separate from our eternal constitutional nature. We're not properly situated. Unless one's, even on a conditional state, if we're not properly situated, we will not be happy. To be constitutional, materially speaking, according to one's nature, one finds oneself much more contented. Envy, jealousy of others, greed, lust are less. They're diminished. They're still there, but they're there in a, you could say, an appropriate way according to our situation. But when we're not, then we think about gaining that which we don't have, usurping others' property, doing any means we can to achieve our false false intentions, whatever they are. But to speak of spiritually, because we're not safe. It's like a child, baby. Some of you mothers have had babies. Some of you may have babies. But you know how insecure the baby is. Only when it's in the mother's lap does it feel safe. We're not in the mother's lap, so to speak. We're trying to live separately from Krishna. No matter what we try, will not satisfy us. We may think like a child, probably. I listened to a lecture this morning, probably was talking about how the son of a rich man leaves home for some reason. Crazy. He's got everything at his fingertips, but he leaves home and goes away. Yes, this world we're in today is a slightly different situation, you could say, but in principle, it's a crazy thing to do. Crazy. And never be satisfied. You can just come home, everything's yours. The kingdom, the business, whatever, it's all yours. Take it whenever you want. We've forgotten that. Prabhupada tells the story of the poor man and the astrologer, that actually, according to your astrology, you're a rich man. You're meant to be rich. But you're poor. You're looking in the wrong place for the riches. You're going in the wrong direction. You're going west, north, south. You have to go east. You dig on the east side, you will find the treasure. Your grandfather, your father has left you a great treasure. You just don't know it. Everyone's very rich. We don't know it. We're just digging in the wrong place. We think we can get rich separate from Krishna. Envy of Krishna. We're all trying to be, even in our efforts to become Krishna conscious, there's still sometimes a separatist mentality. We think that, no, by doing this, this, and this, I'll get that, that, and that. As if we're the doer, if we're the controllers. Ultimately, everything depends on the mercy of Krishna. We have to surrender. We're afraid of surrendering. There's some stage of surrender is there. But that complete dependence upon Krishna, complete expectance of the Lord's mercy, having no desire separate from the desire of the Lord, being truly humble and meek. You may not be quite on the path. You're following somebody who is, Srila Prabhupada. We're following the process he's giving us. But there's still naturally some degree of our own, mix in there. So in that way, we're not getting the full protection. We're not getting the full protection. So many stories in the Shastra of how Krishna reciprocates when you complete. Look at the example of Draupadi, for instance. Draupadi. It's only when she fully let go and stopped any other idea of being able to protect herself, then Krishna appeared fully to protect her. Complete shelter, like a child has no other shelter other than the parents. There's no one else can satisfy that kid. Nobody. You could go on and on with different specific reasons. Loneliness, failure, abandonment, defamation, losing your job, making mistakes, being punished. Oh, goodness. At night, some people are afraid of the dark. They can't handle the dark. Claustrophobia. There's just unlimited things according to our karmas. There's no end of it. The whole universe is full, even up to Lord Brahma. And there's one interesting thing. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, 11:32. Come on. What's he saying? 11:32. Universal form. Scholars. I've heard you're all scholars here at Govardhan Eco Village. I'm not a scholar. I have an excuse. Plus I'm an old man and I can't remember anything anymore. What did he say? Somebody saying it? Have you looked it up on your mobile? 99% of the time that's what happens nowadays. Kalosmi. Lokakshaya krit. Ravido. Lokam samaharatam ihapavitaha. The Supreme Personality of God says, I am
Time.
time. By the way, time is ticking away here also. Why is Krishna time? We get angry with time sometimes, huh? Time is another thing that scares. It's very scary, huh? Time ticking away. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Some kind of cycle. Tick tock, is that what it's called? It's the great destroyer of the worlds. Time. It's imperceptibly taking everything away. Ayur harati vaipungsam, the day and night's coming and going, taking everything away. And I have come here to destroy all people. What a nasty person this Krishna is. He wants to destroy all people in the form of time. The third Canto Bhagavatam, 26th chapter. The influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contacted material nature. That's like in one verse capturing 3 or 4 of the points you've made. And in the 12th canto, 8th chapter, text 43, my dear Lord, even Lord Brahma, who enjoys his exalted position for the entire duration of the universe, fears the passage of time. Can you imagine? And he lives, what is it, 311 trillion years or something? And he's also a fear in the passage of time. And we live maximum 100 years, probably not that. Most people, when they get old, they start fearing time. Huh? When you're young, you don't think about it so much. It's like everything's fantastic. You know, I'm going to conquer the world. I have nothing to worry about. I'm going to live forever. Science is going to do this and solve it anyway. I'm going to live forever as a youth. Well, you may not be a youth when science solves it. You might be 80 years old with like 101 different ailments. You want to stay like that for eternity? I don't think so. You may think like that when you're young. But when you're old, you sometimes want to, this is too much. Finish it off. Time, or then the fear of death becomes very on your doorstep. It's right on the doorstep. We could go on and on about that one. We haven't got time. No time. The encounter. Then what to speak? So Lord Brahma fears the passage of time. Then what to speak of those whom Brahma creates, the conditioned souls? They encounter fearful dangers at every step of their lives. I do not know of any relief from the fear except shelter at, at your lotus feet, which are the very form of liberation. Krishna's lotus feet. Samasritaye parapalavatavam mahatpadam punya yashomarare, and so on. The only shelter from this dangerous ocean of material existence. Every step there is danger. Every step there is fear. So we more or less touched on a few of the points. So what can we do about it? What does Krishna say in the 18th chapter? He says many things. You jump straight to the point. You got it bang on. That's not the only thing he says. But that's probably the summation of the 18th chapter's solution in one sense. Sarvadharmam parityagya mamikam sharanam vrija. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma shuchaha. What did he say? But he didn't say in English, he said that, something like that. What does it mean? Abandon all other shelters. Completely take shelter of me. I will then protect you from all sinful reactions and all fear. Completely freed. Oh, there we go. I guess that's the whistle, final whistle. Time up. I'll just finish. We're almost there, actually. In the first, a nice solution. So just quick solutions here. Simple things. Everyone knows it. 1.1.14. What does Sutta Goswami say? No, the sages in Naimishrana, not Sutta. What do they say? Chant the holy name. What a good solution. It's so simple, isn't it? So simple. Why? I mean, there are many answers there, but in terms of time, in terms of fear, why? You got it. Apanaksang sitamboram yannama vivasogrinam tataksaryo vimucheta yad bebeti svayam bayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. You have to chant. Chanting of any sort is good. If you want real freedom from fear, we have to chant like a child crying for its mother. We have to chant as if we're in the lap of Krishna, so to speak. There is no one in creation who is not afraid of the rage of the Almighty in his various forms. Great asuras like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, and others who were very powerful living entities. They were also killed. Everything. If we take shelter of Krishna, just like Mother Devaki, she took shelter of Krishna, she was afraid of Kamsa. And she took shelter of Krishna. To take shelter of Krishna. Kamsa is like sense gratification personified. How else can we become protected or freed from fear? Anything else? Chant the holy name. Take shelter, as we heard, of devotional service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Devotional service is like the manifestation of the Lord's lotus feet. Manifest through the media of the pure devotee of the Lord. So another means is by good association, isn't it? Even in a material sense, when you've got strong association, you don't feel afraid, right? So much anyway. You're going to war or something, you've got all this strong experts around you. You don't feel so scared. When you're on your own, it's impossible. How else? By association, good association of devotees. And else? We've heard knowledge. Yes, knowledge. One can understand the sublime. There's a beautiful section in the 12th canto of the 11th canto rather. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, about the Avanti Brahmana. And there it states the verse, one who can understand this sublime teaching of the Brahmin spoken by the Lord to Uddhava will never again suffer the terrible anxiety of fear within the material world. So understanding the knowledge, not just having the knowledge, but understanding and applying it in our lives, will automatically become fearless. And leadership. When you have a good leader, isn't it? Spiritually, materially, you feel fearless. Child with his father feels fearless, thinks his father can protect him from all problems. A devotee too. And in fact, in society, Kshatriya, leaders of society, they're supposed to protect us from that, aren't they? Protect us from fear. Supposed to. By engaging us in various ways, putting system. But nowadays, they put us in fear. Isn't it? They probably, as Prabhupada was saying, we're harassed by the leaders themselves. Taxations, they take things away just like that. They treat you like nothing. They suddenly declare a war's on and you've got to go and die for them. They sit in their, nuclear bomb-proof shelters and send you out to get blown to pieces on the battlefield. There's no Kshatriya. They're supposed to be. There's a great verse in the 5th canto. You know this verse? Guru nasasya, svajano nasasya, vita nasasya, jadani nasasya. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a relative, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. What to speak of a leader in society. That's what we've got nowadays. There's no program for delivering anyone, except of course Krishna consciousness, from the path of birth and death. There's no such program. Even religion today is not really geared towards that. It's to improve your lot within the material world, to get a better body, to make this body better. It's not to actually become free of birth and death, but to just make it nicer. Give her a nice painkiller or something like that. It's a duty of superior to give fearlessness, Prabhupada writes, to the subordinate. To take charge of someone, therefore, either as father, mother, spiritual master, relative, friend, one must accept the responsibility to give his ward freedom from the fearful situation of material existence. Material existence is always fearful and full of anxiety. And we're almost there, 2 more points. When Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was the king of the world, all bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear and fatigue were completely absent. Can you imagine a society like that's the spiritual world? A leader of society like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, and so on. We can't imagine such a situation. It's almost impossible to conceive in our present situation. To a large degree, Prabhupada wanted this. He says, all these facilities existed because of Lord Ramchandra's presence as the king of the entire world. A similar situation could be introduced immediately, even in this age called Kali, the worst of all ages. It is said, Kali Kale Namarupahi Krishna Avatar. Krishna descends in this Kali Yuga in the form of his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama and Krishna are still present in this age if we chant Hare Krishna offenselessly. Ooh. Okay. Think about that one. The kingdom of Ram was immensely popular and beneficial, and the spreading of this Hare Krishna movement can immediately introduce a similar situation even in the Kali Yuga if we chant offenselessly. Last one before we knock off. One other thing we can do. Anything else? Probably the most significant one. What else?
Hearing about Krishna.
Yeah, oh, maybe there's another one coming up. I missed it. I've got it here, but I think I jumped over it. It's one of those things I jumped over. Yes, the powerful effect of hearing the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, of hearing about Krishna. This is essential. But there's one other too, which I'll put in the front. But I started hearing this morning, probably in one lecture, it said, if you think that reading the books is a waste of time, Prabhupada used the word waste of time. Never mind, Prabhupada said. He went, just chant Hare Krishna. So even that, you may not, So there's one other thing we haven't mentioned at all. Very significant. Very, very significant. It hasn't been mentioned not once in the whole session. Huh? The Guru's lotus feet will come into that taking shelter of Krishna, taking shelter of the instructions, taking shelter of devotional service. It comes through only through the mercy of the spiritual master, no doubt. It's essential, it's absolutely imperative. But there's one other thing within all of this, which is, you can't say, but in many ways I would say the essential one. Much of the Bhagavatam is made up of this, by the way, and you'll see this in even Bhagavad Gita is there. This particular aspect of relationship. How we develop that relationship. It's not just knowledge, it's not just doing things. And it may start on a very kind of like, you could say almost mixed level, but it's got to start somewhere. You see transformations in the songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, transformations in the Bhagavatam, the nature involved. prayer. Prayer. Prayer isn't just give me this, give me that. It's not all also just save me from fear. It goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, up and up and up. And it means that we are taking shelter of Krishna. We realize I can't do it on my own. It is impossible. We're begging for the mercy of Krishna. There's a famous verse, Om Namo Bhagavate Narashinga Namaste Tejasaya Viri Baba Vajranaka Vajradangsha Karma Shan Vandaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shram. Some of you may chant that regularly. It's one of those verses which isn't a bad one to chant. We're not on such a high, safe platform that we can't be affected by the material energy at any moment. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narasimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. The Lord Nrsimhadev plays a very significant role in our lives. Even Bhakti Vinod Thakur Nrsimhapali is praying to Lord Nrsimhadev to please clear the path for my love and devotion for Radha and Krishna. We still have anarthas, we still have coverings, we still have attachments, we still have misconceptions about ourselves and about others. We still have a bit of false ego. With the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev, we are praying that he can remove that so that we can actually chant the holy name offenselessly. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Sorry to keep you a long time, and breakfast is now probably gone. I'm surprised you're still here. In most temples, everyone else is. The breakfast hasn't gone, all the devotees have gone. Breakfast takes priority usually. Don't worry, Krishna will provide opportunity to practice a little bit also, depending on Krishna. He'll provide. You're not going to die, don't worry. Well, you're going to die, but it won't be over missing breakfast. Hope not. You're going to die anyway, so, you know. If you die meditating on prasadam, it won't be too bad. Hare Krishna. Very late. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said we should chant as if this is your last breath. Just imagine, if you knew this was your last breath, what would you do? Take a deep breath, probably. Try to hold your breath for the next 500 years or the next 20 years or something. Take a big breath so you don't die for 20 years. No, we'll chant, Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! That was pretty good. Imagine if we could do that at the time of death. Imagine if you're surrounded by 120, 50 devotees like this at the time of death. Imagine if you're here in Govardhan Eco Village at the time of death. Imagine if you're in front of the deities at Govardhan Eco Village at the time of death. Imagine if the Bhagavatam is being here and being recited at the time of death. Good fortune, huh? Can't go wrong. Everything's here. Everything's here. Even if we're not here, everything else is here. Just stay here. Don't go. Father said, don't leave, live. Just stay in the association of devotees, even if we're like gone. God knows where we are in our mind. But someone else serve the devotees, stay here. Krishna will take you back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.